Why hello there, fellow caretakers and prison wardens. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, The Pacifists. Episode 4, now open for Orphans and Convicts. Alright, floors, smooth terrain. So we're already up to 61 impressiveness, which is not bad. A little bit higher if we cleaned. So yeah, we're getting the rec room for the crowning ceremony relatively quickly. Jackal. Oh, crap. That's not good. Hey, yeah. Go. Stay away from the frog. Actually, the frog is no longer hostile, so never mind. Avoid corpses and unrestrict. Done. And then also leave this door open, too. So you're wandering. That means there's no work for you. Go dormant. And then we'll open up this door again, and we'll let Tim sleep in here. It's an awful bedroom, though, still. Colossal frogs are slow? Not that slow. They're 3-2, and Jackal was probably slower than that. Came out 109, because he was wounded as hell. So yeah. Little risky. Because you release prisoners as soon as they're physically capable of walking, which means that they don't have to be moving very fast upon release. Alright, the yays have it. So, current priority is to build a dining room and host a prisoner. And I am going to be mining out a prison, and this is eventually going to be a hospital, but right now it can be a bedroom. Because I don't have a better place for it. We are less than 1,000 research away from gun turrets, and that means that Crimson is definitely going to need to go get the uranium sooner or later. And then I'll build dead power for the turrets to turn on and off at remote. Moods are somewhat stabilized. The council and the slightly better bedroom accommodations are helping a lot. I think one thing I could do is let's go ahead and put all of the chunks back here if we can, giving Kadath something to do. Because we're still tripping over chunks all over the base. So consolidating them into one tight spot so that we can move around a little bit more freely would be a real big benefit, I think. So here will be where the prison's gonna go, and got a wall lamp in. And then put sandstone table, sandstone stool. I think for these two new buildings, I'm going to do sandstone floors rather than smooth floors or concrete floors. Make them a little bit nicer. We'll smooth out the surrounding area. Basically, we want it as nice of a prison as possible because it's going to lower the chance of rebellion. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll accept this quest once I have turrets, because I don't really want to have prisoners in my colony without me being able to actually fight them, because there's a huge risk of them just like one prisoner doing a jailbreak and like knocking me out, because I can't defend myself. So there is that risk. Crimson. That means you are going to go get this uranium. Before you head out there, let's consume the lavish meal, because you're going to be out there a while. And I'm gonna suspend the lavish meals. Oh, and we have a rescue. Now the problem with the rescue is I can't really clear a guarded site, so these rescues essentially have to be ignored for now until I have a mechanitor that has like robots that can caravan and all that jazz, and then maybe we can rescue people. But that's a non-starter for now. Radlocker, Tannering, and Inspector, thank you for the resubs and cheer. The reason not to destroy weapons, we don't have a trade embargo on weapons. I can always sell weapons. Granted, having weapons near where the prisoners are kept does pose a risk, but Kadath and RCV can fight. My mechs can attack. I can't, but they can. So, if in the case that the prisoners escape, I can just bash them down with mechs as an emergency measure. And I don't need a lot of uranium in order to make the turrets. Oh, also to answer your question about the spike traps, the uranium spike traps are the same as the plastic ones. Just really expensive for barely any damage gain. I would not advise it. We have a mech charger? Yeah, it's right there. And we've already brought back one stack of uranium. Perfect. Kadath, where are you doing? You going for the other uranium? Where is he? No, you were grabbing wood from the cutting zone. Okay. You're gonna have to automatically recharge here in a moment. We also grab pemmican off of the so I'm gonna allow pemmican to always be biorefined because we don't eat pemmican. Of course, I could save it for the prisoner. So maybe what I'll do is I'll suspend that for now because we could always feed it to the prisoner. We don't believe in eating meat, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to restrict others. I'm going to say that's enough uranium for now. We'll focus on other goals for the immediate future. So the reason I'm building this, like, hospital is this could be a makeshift bedroom for Tim, so that the laboratory can become a laboratory again, so I'm not losing 20% research speed as a result. And then the prison cell is... I'm going to want it to be not awful, which means... Oh, looks like you are idle, which means smoothing the walls around them as well. Trying to make it as nice as possible. Transport crash. From another faction. So this is going to be a rescue, not a capture. But he does have the vow of nonviolence, but all the same, rescue. That means I need a place for you. So I guess I'll use this hospital sooner than I thought. Crimson, sorry to wake you, but I need a bed. And then Tim, go render aid to Anton. Blowback op is done. Gun turret's next. So here's our awful prison cell, and once it's nicer, we'll accept that prisoner quest. Do we have yet another non-violent faction? Actually, don't tell Cathanon, but it's probably a bug with his Wanderer Joined mod, where anyone that really shows up at our map tile unexpectedly just happens to have our ideology. It's supposed to be that it's... Or rather, when I proposed him to make this mod, it was that any Wanderer Joined would have our ideology. But, like, I think the consequence of that mod is, like everyone does. So, no, we don't have any other factions that share our ideology. It's just a mod conflict. Not a big deal, though. Oh, I promise I won't tell him? Yeah, I didn't want to point it out. I didn't want to put more work on your plate. But, yeah, that mod you made has that as an issue, as an edge case. And it's not one that, like, matters to me. Like, you know, who cares? So what? Random people that arrive happen to have our ideology. It's not going to break anything, which is why I never really cared to tell you to fix it, but I'm just explaining why he has the wrong ideology, because the Uranium unification, actually, yeah, so he's supposed to have the Rogian way, individualist, God creation, abstract theist ideology, but doesn't. Alright, little mount base, looking a little bit better. Still doing the smoothing. We're up to 80. Once it hits, I believe, 120, we'll do the Psylink ceremony. Wow, look at that face. Holy moly. Constipation or fear? Maybe a bit of both? I'm not sure. But that's a face only a mother could love. Fear of constipation. Yeah. What was that? Yeah. More Fennec Fox eating stuff. Ooh, Psychic Soothe. That's nice. What I was kind of hoping was that... Oh, and let's do this. Tim, you are now going to construct over craft, because you can't fail at smoothing things. So it's a really good way for him to train up his construction skills so he doesn't have a fail chance for construction. And he's already at 8. Once he hits, like, the 9 range, we should have a lot less construction fail, because he failed at a whole bunch of, like, the chess table, etc., etc., etc. Got annoying. Bioluminescent spores. So bioluminescent spores makes the outside pretty. That's all it does. It's harmless. The spores pose no danger. The shimmering visuals will brighten the mood of anyone who sees them. Hey, maybe I'll actually get an inspiration for Crimson, because Crimson is a wee bit happy at the moment, so I'm kind of hoping to move the needle towards random inspiration. But yeah, this room is getting might bit impressive. So I think once it's fully smooth, even if I haven't hit goal, I'll probably do the Psylink. I would Penguin Addie, I would argue that the dark version of Aurora would be an eclipse, because an eclipse would be the... So the biolumination spores doesn't really have a... Yeah. What else could I put in here? So I do have some cloth. I could perhaps try for a billiards table. I think might be worth it before I trigger it. The reason for billiards over chess is chess has a rec power greater than 100%, but a horseshoe pin only has 100% rec power. So a billiards table is going to help to move the needle towards more efficient recreation. Now that we have gun turrets, I'm going to go towards multi-analyzer. And marriage is on. How did you propose? I am curious. Talked about... Oh, no, that was different. Yeah, just proposed. Cool. I can make it out of jade? I could. Yeah, let's do it. I'm a little worried about it being fugly, but, you know, let's take the risk. So, Crimson, construct. Wow, she's... I don't even have wood. Let's see. Timber shrooms. Yeah, rare thrombos. Who cares? There we go. So the jade, billiards table, getting done. Moods have kind of stabilized, which is good. We have nicer bedroom accommodations than we did before. So not everyone's like in a pissy, terrible mood, which is awesome. Oh, RCV is helping to build it. Perfect. Now, the other thing that I could do instead of multi-analyzing is I could jump to... as soon as I kill my first Diabolus, I can then crack into standard mech tech. So, in order to kill a Diabolus... Oh god, I don't even know what I would need. A whole lot of spike traps, probably, honestly, is probably going to be the most efficient. But that doesn't really change my research, I suppose. I could do geothermal power, but I think it's going to be faster for me to get a multi-analyzer to then speed up geothermal research in the first place, and also probably couple that with sterile tiles. So I'm going to stay with multi-analyzer. I think that's the right call. Not doing ship the stars, so we don't need to worry about that. Where'd Crimson go? Oh, there you are. How are we going to kill a Diabolus? Just, I think, lining up a whole bunch of spike traps, or calling the Diabolus in when there is a Prepare a While raid on our map tile, so that the raiders fight the Diabolus. Because, I mean, we believe in nonviolence, but, like, we also believe in defending ourselves, and having enemies fight enemies keeps our hands clean. So that is a not unreasonable method to employ. Fighting them with thoughts and prayers? Yeah. Oh, well, shoot. That is like the crummiest possible quality I could imagine. Still has a rec power greater than the horseshoe pin. It does raise the impressiveness up of this room a bit. Into the 110 range? Okay. So now we will do the Novice ceremony. And then once the Novice ceremony is done, we'll bring in the prisoner and host. So the question for that is, what reward to take for the prisoner? We've got plasteel, component in silver, or goodwill. What reward for the prisoner? Have you guys choose. Ooh, room preferences could be a lot better. But whatever. We have a 50% at honorable and a 17 at grandiose. So it's a 60, it's 2/3 chance that it will be at least positive. Is it not a mechanic introduced to prevent mech provocations to appear while there is a raid? No. And it was honorable. So being honorable, we got 1 extra honor. Not bad. And we gained a title. We gained the Chunk Skip sidecast. Not great. I'm not even going to bother with side focus. Forget it. Don't care. And let's hit Crimson with another work drive. So that she can smooth stuff out. We got another torrential rain going on. Yum. And by yum, I mean yuck. Transport pod of Addie. Best stat is shooting at 0? Wait, your best stat is 0? Your best stat is 0? Because you're a 3-year-old. Okay. Sure. I was about to have a fit, but no, that makes sense. Alright, I am... Ooh, that's a really nice bed. I am currently very, very, very low on, What even happened to you? Oh, you're paralyzed. I'm very low on, steel, so I'm going to need to mine up steel. There is some steel in the trap corridor that I'll mine up. And then there's some steel here embedded in the mountain, and then we'll have to go outside. But I'm rescuing the child because, yeah. Oh, they actually want to join. She's willing to contribute once she's recovered, but will not leave voluntarily. You can banish her, sell under slavery, leave her to die. I'm going to postpone. So, if she shouldn't have any traits, which means there's no good reason to decline her. So I guess we have a 3-year-old now. With that in mind, wouldn't be maybe the wrong idea to get a double bed then? Because if I'm already looking after a 3-year-old, might as well have a 0-year-old. Maybe I won't try for a pregnancy while we're hosting a prisoner though, because something tells me that that's like a bad combination. I suppose that means we have a raffle timer for the 3-year-old. First member to join. So accept. And the trouble is it's going to be really hard to help you with your growth tiers because you're paralyzed. Right? So you can't go outside to Skydream. Yeah, that sucks. But nothing I can really do about that. Now, there's other ones that I can work towards, which is radio talking on the comms console. And then let's build a trade beacon here. And this is going to be the... I'll build a trade beacon here. This is going to be the dummy beacon. Oh, no, not there. Put it here. This is going to be the dummy beacon, the bait beacon, so that pod operators would land around here, basically not close to our base. Close enough that we can go fetch trade goods that we trade for, because our trade goods will land here, but not so close that it's annoying for us. And with that there, we're going to need to run power out to that spot. Like that. So, current priority is host a prisoner and build trade. Good. I may need to send Quantum out to harvest more. I don't know if this Nutrifungus is going to keep up with our demands now. I'll have to scale it if not. All right, the other thing I wanted to do is uranium turrets. And we'll barricade around them. Which means I'm probably going to want to change where the hallway is, because that doesn't work anymore. So we'll adjust the hallway one to the left. With dead power. So here is the dead power circuit. So lots going on. And advanced components and silver is going to be what we host for. Got it. So host prisoner, build trade, and defenses. And then in the middle of the room, I'm going to want, like, the bait turret. Basically, the turret that raiders attack automatically. So that these turrets can fire on the raiders that are swarming that turret. Something along those lines. There's a lot going on. Crimson, that means you're going to need to do a lot more mining than construction, so I'm going to put you on high priority mining because we're going to need steel for these projects. And D-Sagan, thank you for the resub, by the way. You have tattered apparel. So I could make you a jumpsuit or whatever. So let's fix that because, you know, we can do better. So I'll do a hand tailor rather than an automatic one. I'll drop it in my stock room because there's really nowhere better. And we'll get you some clothing. And Blaze, thank you for the resub too. Oh, there we go. We got credit for attending the member. And this is going to be Tim's new bedroom. Actually, I'll change that around again. Tim's going to share the room with the poor orphan. I'm assuming orphan. I don't know. We don't know the parents. And little orphan Annie is now Nightbird. Good name for someone that loves the dark. Congrats, Nightbird. It's too bad I don't have glitteral meds to cure her paralysis. I would have, that would have been nice. All right, so the prisoner host is in 2 days. Oh, okay. 4 enemies coming in, all with bows. Let's first do close to base. And then we'll do shelter in place. Also, cargo pods of unfertilized eggs. Weird. But that could be also very useful for hosting the prisoner. because we can cook with that. So, let's haul those in before they get, like, eaten by wild critters. And we did pause the chem processing already. So we have some of the turrets coming in already, but my guess is the spike traps are probably going to do these guys in anyway. So with them incoming, let's close that door and then shelter in place for everybody. I do have a hole here, I realize. So Crimson, quickly patch that. I think there's time. Barely. It's okay, they're already fleeing. Mechs. Unrestricted. Everyone else, avoid corpse. And unfortunately, they both died. Many turrets are going to be more effective in downing but not killing. So that will be pretty useful, because mini turrets poke you full of holes, but don't necessarily just lop your head off. And our corpse pile grows, unfortunately. Person may have sweat a little. Yeah, but she's strong. I trusted she'd be fine. I wasn't worried. Actually, I really don't need that as a home zone. It's not like the buried cables catch fire or anything like that. And this could also be a really good spot for a hydroponics with a grow light, because this is under the mountain sort of, but like close enough to the base that it wouldn't be inaccessible in the case of like manhunters or something like that. All right, clothing. We're gonna make a kid romper for the kiddo. Tim, that's you. And then we'll clothe her in the romper. And Tim, you can just keep sleeping in the bedroom, I suppose. In this thing. I've been really running out the clock for the hosting the prisoner. But sort of for a good reason, because, like, I want to make as many preparations as possible prior for my safety and security. And now that we have the comms console up, I can signal the Daedalus. That is now an option. Obviously, we need to make some more preparations prior to that, but, yeah. So we have 24 hours to accept the prisoner. Tim, you made the romper, I'm assuming? Yep. So, force target to wear. Done. And now you don't have any tattered apparel, I believe. Oh, no, you have the parka. It's a little weird to strip a kid, but it's not like she can move. There we go. And let's put you not in the dark. So to explain the bait beacon, because I get this question a lot and I figure I'll just answer it now. When you get pod drop raided, there's 3 types of pod drop raids, or sort of like 4. So there's the target a colonist pod drop raid, where we'll pick a random colonist and drop the raiders on that colonist. And in order to counter that, we live underground, because pod drop raids can't go through Overhead Mountain. There's the scattered raid, where the pod drop raiders just kind of scatter all over the map, and there's really no counter to that, and it's also not a very powerful pod drop raid because they usually filter into your defenses one at a time, so that's really easy to defend against. The third type is that they will land on your trade beacon. And the conditions of the trade beacon is that they land on the oldest installed trade beacon that is unroofed and has an adjacent open slot. So if I build a trade beacon here that is unroofed with an adjacent slot, adjacent tile open, pod drop raiders will land around here, because if I didn't, and instead I had a beacon here, they would land as close to the beacon as possible, which would be like here. So this is a way to bait the pod drop raiders from not landing on top of me. It also means that when I trade, my trade goods will land around here, but like that's not so far from the base it's annoying. So this is a compromise. A compromise of convenience and security. With that said, it is kind of close to the corpse zone. So the avoid corpse dump, I'm going to move a little bit so that my colonists can fetch stuff that lands here. Oh, you are dead. Carry to recharger. RCV worked himself to KO. All right, 14 hours left. I'm gonna want to get a little bit more uranium for one more turret, and I'm just gonna like literally plop a turret down in the middle of the prison. So if they do berserk or rebel or whatever, I don't have to pray that they walk towards my kill box, but instead, like, the turret will just spin up within their own. In fact, so that I don't have to wait for it, I'll just move one of these turrets in and then build a new turret here once that gets moved. Unknown drifters. They want... So this is a bit dangerous. There's 2 refugees that want to chill here for a week. It's dangerous because I don't... If they betray me, I'm not in a good position to defend myself. So I'll have you... I mean, it's worth the risk, maybe. It's up to you. I'll have you choose. Do I host the refugees? So they could betray me, or nothing could happen, and they would award me, or they could even ask to join. So there's a whole bunch of different choices, ramifications of that, and I'll have you, you can make the choice. And let's put a dead power here, and then this will be ready to receive prisoners. So, friendly prisoner, accept. Now, it's also possible, given the Wanderer join bug that I have, that friendly prisoners are also incapable of violence. Nope, that is not the case. This dude can be violent. Okay, cool. Crimson, capture, probably because he was generated through the quest and not through map arrival. We got a prisoner, and they are a loyalist. So they don't do drugs. And I will subsequently make fine meals out of meat, eggs, and potato fungus for him to eat. So that they will be fed fine meals. So Tim, get cooking. And we're not allowed to eat the fine meals, so I'm not worried about, like, our own diet. That allows Strappin to eat what he wants to eat. Cool. Do we host the refugees? You guys say no. I'm just going to call that a little early. It was overwhelmingly no. I think eventually, if I have, like, scythers and stuff, or other robots to be able to help me defend, the risk is a lot lower. But if they show up with like knives and betray me, they're just going to stab me to death. And I don't have jetpacks. I don't have locust armor. I don't have combat-worthy mechs. I have virtually no way to defend myself. So the risk is really high and the rewards are really low. All right, in terms of wardening, Quantum, that's going to be you, dude. And he has a mediocre prison cell, so it's not bad. All right, and Crimson is getting the uranium for the other turret. Cool. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld The Pacifists, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon one time only. Because it was streamed one time only, feedback cannot be incorporated, so there's no need for it in the comments. But if you have any questions for me, let me know down below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Adios.